All right, let's start with last night. I want to be very clear about this right off the very top, because this is obviously going to get very ugly very fast. But I want to be very clear about this. Kind of like that ball game last night. It's going to get away from us very quickly, like that ball game last night did the Chargers. I want to be very clear about who I am and what I'm about. I do not call for people's heads. I don't root, period. But I really do not root for anybody to lose their job, especially not people that have been great to the jungle. But really, when you get right down to it, it doesn't matter whether or not you're great to the jungle. I still don't like to crack open the mic and say, run that dude through the wood chipper. Even if you're not good at the jungle, I'm not about that life. I'm not here to take food off people's table. I'm not here to take money out of somebody's pocket. I'm not here to assassinate somebody's character and get them fired. It's not what I do. I don't need those clicks. I don't need that. And so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to sit here and spend the entire day calling for Brandon Staley's firing or ask, how has this guy not been fired yet? When is it going to happen? Do I have to do it myself? I'm not doing that. However, what I'm also not going to do is give you one single reason why he should still be the head coach of the Chargers. Because I can't think of one single reason why he should still be the head coach of the Chargers. Notice the distinction I'm making there. I guess what I'm saying in effect, if you're confused by that, what I'm saying in effect is this. If you're getting ready for work right now, I can't believe you're Brandon Staley.
You're getting ready for work right now.
I can't believe you're Brandon Staley.
If you're getting ready for work right now.
I can't believe you're Brandon Staley.
Getting ready for work right now.
I'm not calling for his head. I'm just saying I can't believe that he's at work right now. 63-21? They seriously allowed 63 points to the Raiders, a team that was shut out 5 days ago. 5 days ago, shut out on the same field that they obliterated the Chargers on last night. Vegas scored no points on Sunday in one of the worst games in league history, only to fire out and drop 21 on the Chargers in the first quarter and 42 before heading into the locker room for intermission. And of course, all while missing some of their most important players offensively, with a backup quarterback and against the alleged defensive guru, Brandon Staley. Remember, that's why they hired him, because of his defensive prowess. Oh, and because he knew Sean McVay. Look, I understand the Charger ownership does not break dudes off midseason. They've only done it once. Never mind. Never mind. I knew this. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. So I spend the entire morning formulating my thoughts. I spend the entire morning thinking about how I want to go about this. And I even said to Tommy mid-morning, dude, I'm coming out in the open. And I've got lots to say about this. They best not fire him in the middle of the open. And what just happened? They fired him in the middle of the open.
If you're getting ready for work right now.
In real time, that just happened. They just fired the guy. He and Tom Telesco both. Absolutely incredible. Shefty on the X, quote, following a historic loss to their division rival Raiders, the Chargers fired head coach Brandon Staley. The move that some expected after the Chargers' playoff collapse in Jacksonville last January now has been made some 11 months later. Rap Sheet also in on it. Quote, the hashtag Chargers are cleaning house after last night's disaster, firing coach Brandon Staley and longtime GM Tom Telesco, sources say. This is so funny. I mean, that's not funny. Somebody losing their job's not funny. But what's funny is I was in mid-sentence saying Charger ownership does not break dudes off mid-season.
Laugh out loud.
They've only done it once. Remember Kevin Gilbride back in the day? They generally do not do this. They never do this. They've only done it once. So hence my question and statement. If you're getting ready for work right now, I can't believe you're Brandon Staley. Well, he's not. Listen, you get right down to it. Not only is it not surprising, even for a franchise that doesn't do it, that's how catastrophic that was last night. That's how embarrassing that was last night. That's how humiliating that was last night. My man is probably lucky, even though they never fire guys mid-season, he's lucky they didn't fire him. Probably should have. He's lucky they even let him come out and coach the second half. Like, fired at halftime is generally a cliche. It's just something people say that they think is kind of funny. But it really should have happened. He's lucky it didn't happen. There's not a single person watching that game last night who would have had any issue if it did happen. In fact, most people watching that game last night probably had a problem that it didn't happen. That game was 63-7 with most of the fourth quarter left. That was more, and this is why they went the extreme route. And again, for the Chargers, it is extreme to fire a guy before the end of the year. That was more than a curb stomping. And the GM, by the way. Tom Telesco, who built a pretty nice roster, had been there for a decade. Reason being, that was more than just a beatdown. That was more than just a curb stomping. That was more than just a massacre. That was an all-time no-show. That was maybe the best example ever of a team losing all hope and completely abandoning their head coach. Yes, it's harsh, but there's no other way to describe it. How else do you describe a team coming out and falling behind 42-0 to a team that didn't score last week? To a team that, along with them, was in last place? To a team that was missing star players? To a team that had a backup quarterback? I mean, even Brandon Staley has to understand that, right? Remember when he was asked the question a few weeks back, hey, Brandon, has the team abandoned you? Do you think you've lost the team? He was pretty firm in saying, no, I have not. If we were getting blown out, that would be one thing, but that's not what's happening. It has now. Your team got blown out of the stadium, and then you got blown out of the stadium this morning. And so did your boss. My man, you got blown right out of the league practically. I'm not saying there's not a place for him in the league, but he's not going to be a head coach again anytime soon. Again, I'm not looking to pile on Brandon. I like Brandon. I like him as a guy a lot. I don't like him as a head coach very much, but I like him as a guy a lot. That whole thing about, no, we're fine. We have not been blown out of the stadium. Well, you have now. In fact, blown out of the stadium might not be strong enough. I'm talking about vaporized, eviscerated out of existence. And again, you know it's bad that they did you in the GM this morning because it was humiliating. Humiliating to everybody involved, including ownership. Humiliating to everybody involved, including ownership, and in fact, humiliating to everybody not involved. I had nothing to do with it, and I'm humiliated. I didn't want to show my face in public today, and I've got nothing to do with it at all. So, who's to blame here? Maybe it's not all on the head coach. Maybe some of the blame has to be placed on whoever is calling that horrific defense. You know, the same defense that allowed 63 points to the Raiders 4 days ago after they got shut the hell out. I mean, who in the world is calling that Charger defense anyway? All right. Not anymore, you're not. I get it, dude. I get it. Hey, listen, I was trying to help you out here because I like you. I was trying to help find a scapegoat. I was trying to help find a fall guy, my guy.
Fall guy.
But you are the fall guy. You're your own fall guy. And you hit the ground this morning.
Put me to the ground.
I don't know. I mean, I just keep going back to the last few weeks. This guy could not have been any more clear about it. I am the one calling the defense. Stop asking the question. That's my defense. I'm the one calling the defense. All the more ironic that he was hired as a defensive guru. And with even talent on that side of the ball, they have one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Coming off last night, one of the worst defensive efforts in the history of the NFL. That's why he's not getting ready for work this morning. Again, I don't like doing it. I don't like doing it. I don't want to pile on. I was hoping that that did not happen during the show because I was actually trying to maintain a certain tone. But it happened during the show. It happened during the open. I'm not saying it's funny. It's just funny that the first thing I said to Tommy this morning when he and I were talking about this, I'm like, just don't whack this guy in the middle of the open. And then they whack this guy in the middle of the open. It's almost like they knew. This is what happens. One more point that I want to make about this. You have a team that lays down like that, and then the media goes to the team and says, hey, listen, have you given up on your head coach? Have you given up on your head coach? And then you've got certain members of the team that are saying, oh, hell no. Oh, no, that's our guy. That's our guy. And believe me, I don't want to get on or go in on Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack is still an incredible player, even at 32. Khalil Mack is one of the only guys who's held up his end of the deal for this team this year. I'm in no way knocking Khalil at all. But I want to be clear about this. In no way can I get with this nonsense. When Khalil was asked about whether or not they still believe in Brandon Staley after that beatdown, Hall of Famer, great player. There's no probably or maybe about that. That was one of the nastiest, ugly losses of anybody's career. One of the nastiest, ugliest losses anybody's ever seen. And respect, dude. I know that you weren't looking to bury the guy, but why are you acting confused that anybody's asking whether or not you still believe in your coach? And what are you saying when you say, are you asking me if I believe in the coach? Of course I believe in the coach. Of course you believe in the coach. The reason people are asking is because almost none of you showed up last night. Nobody can tell. The reason they're asking if you still believe in the coach is because virtually the entire team decided to nap it out right at kickoff. And then they woke up just in time to take a collective dump in their pants for the entire game. Of course you believe in the coach. Y'all didn't play like it. Y'all didn't look like it. Y'all look like you'd rather be doing something or be anywhere other than where you were. I mean, I have never seen dudes look so miserable and pouty on the sideline last night. They made the Steelers sideline seem energized and motivated and focused by comparison. Again, I'm not looking to make this about Khalil Mack. It's about the entire team. The entire team clearly stopped playing for their coach, and that's why the coach and the GM just got fired. And in fairness to you, Raider Nation, you had something to do with it too. Vegas saw and smelled some blood in the water, and then they went on an absolute feeding frenzy. I mean, there's nothing like the smell of blood and napalm in the autumn wind. The Raiders vaporized the Bullets last night. It might even be enough to bring Raider Mike out of the woodwork. They eviscerated the Bullets last night, and then the autumn wind blew that vapor off into the desert. That's what's really meant by getting blown out of the stadium. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.